What's good, YouTube? Cardfight King here. And today, guys, I wanted to bring you my Beelzemon X deck profile for BT12 format. Um, this deck got a lot of great upgrades. We have a greater ability to close out games. We have a lot of different combo plays, a lot of different, a few core foundational pieces, but then there's some ability to tech around to your preferences, based on what you've been seeing in your gameplay and the meta and whatnot. But this deck is easily one of the best deck in the format, if not one of the best decks. It's just crazy strong, very consistent, very fast, and what it does, and a much needed improvement over what we've been playing with. And you guys know I've been playing with Beelzemon since set 1 back in the special release 2020. Beelzemon's come a long way, and they finally have kind of like hit its peak with the mill mechanic, which was first introduced in EX2. So now that we actually have a more fleshed out deck that plays off of milling cards, this deck is just really powerful and has a toolbox access to almost anything in the deck. It's crazy good. So wanted to show you guys my deck profile. You guys know I love it, and I'll be playing it for the rest of my time in Digimon, so there's that. Also, you see this wonderful Impmon mat. This is by the DMV Drakes, my local team here in Maryland. Do tournaments every other Tuesday. You guys can follow me on Twitch. That's where we stream it, and I commentate on the tournament. Great turnouts, great fun, awesome judging, getting through the rounds pretty quickly. So it's also just a great fun experience hanging out with the Drakes, raffling off extra prizes afterwards. So yeah, and this is just the Impmon Bouncer series. It's a limited time series, so winning tournaments gets you this mat, and then we'll introduce another Bancho Digimon and go from there. And right now, if you do win, we are doing a leaderboard where you can actually have our artist create a Bancho mat for the next series as well. So a lot of stuff going on. So if you want to join, I'll have the Discord link in the description box below and all that. But let us begin. For Yammon, Yammon's just the best egg to me. Palgamon is a nice egg, and if that's your personal preference, sure. I just don't want my body to die. I like the milling 2 inheritables, and I don't always want to lose a body. That was the issue with EX2 Beelzemon, was that you're losing your bodies and then struggling to recover. So with this deck, Yammon egg just lets you play more. It's the better egg for a stack build, and the ramping up that this egg provides, along with the other inheritables that we received from set 12, is outstanding. So I just think that this is just a big egg. It's very consistent and does what you need to do. For rookies, 1 Impmon BT6, 4 of the starter deck Impmon, 4 of the EX2 Impmon, 4 of the Beelzemon X-Antibody. So brief description. With Beelzemon X-Antibody, both these Impmons have an extra target to hit in the deck outside the starter deck Beelzemon and EX2 Beelzemon. This is just a tech card. As long as you have these 12 here, that's your core. This is just an extra tech card I have in here. Just because they can grab me my Beelzemon X play out. I've had plays where I mill EX2 Beelzemon, then hit this out. I can grab the X, and then I can have the X, which is my win con that I kind of want to hold in hand. Or you can use as like a mid-range kind of option to kind of like go into it and burn security. But we'll get more to him in a second. This Impmon can searching out your Ayamako is so much better now because of how good Ayamako is. Ayamako kind of carries the deck, so yeah, there's that. This Impmon wins you games, and his inheritable, if your opponent knows that, it kind of scares them into playing down a rookie, because they know that once it's your turn, you raise out with this Impmon, you start milling, you'll pop their rookie, and then you'll go forward, so they can kind of lose value there. And then this Impmon X, when you play it or Digivolve into it on top of like an Impmon, obviously in the battle area, you could ditch an option to grab any Evil Wizard or Demon Lord. So you pretty much grab any Digimon in your deck to your hand. So really good for toolboxing. And then his Mill 2 inheritable when attacking goes along with the Yammon to really ramp everything up. So then For the level 4s, 1 Witchmon, 4 Wizardmon, and 4 Wizardmon X. Really, as long as you have these 8, that should be your core. Again, this is just an option. This is just another one that's here. I just wanted one extra target to go over an Impmon or whatever it is to mill. But she does get the 2K Hairball. She does mill 3. But really, this is the core. This, you know what this one does when you mill it, you gain a memory, and he can help stack your deck like he's been doing. Wizardmon X mills 2, but if you Digivolve him on top of Wizardmon, he gains blocker. Now, that application is kind of important because there are times where you're going to want to digivolve into him, gain the blocker, go into your Ballmon, whether it's BT10 Ballmon or Stardeck Ballmon. That will have the on deletion ability to bring a Beelzemon from your drop zone. But you turn into a blocker. So if you block and it dies, then you get to bring your Beelzemon out, so it can prevent your opponent from swinging on you, protect your life a little bit, and help you get to your Beelzemon for the next turn. So that application there can come up, which is really nice. Plus, he does have the inheritable to trash too, so that's what we really look for. We have Wizardmon X is really good. This is just your core there, and then the Witchmon is just to help supplement. So then we play 1 Ballmon X, 1 BT10 Ballmon, and 4 starter deck Ballmon. So the starter deck Ballmon is good because it gains the on deletion to grab a Beelzemon if you have 10 or less, 10 or more in the trash. And he also mills you 3 with the 2K Hairball, which can come in handy because there are times where really in this deck you don't want to swing into bad security. Meaning that if you swing into security bomb, sure, but if you lose to a security check because of a higher DP, that kind of sucks. So 2K does definitely help out. This Ballmon is the decent Ballmon. He doesn't work too well with Ayamako, but what he does is he is a better card to digivolve if you have to climb in the raising, and on swing you mill 3, which is cool, and his on deletion ability lasts pretty much forever, because as long as he's deleted you can bring a Beelzemon back, so it's kind of nice, just no inheritable. And then Ballmon X-Antibody, he's a card I did not really like at first, but the more I've been playing with it, the more I've been liking this card quite often. What he does is that when you digivolve him, you can add the X-Antibody option from your trash to your hand, right? So with the X-Antibody option, there's a lot of different applications for that, but he can add it back to your hand when you digivolve into him. He also trashes the top 3, but if you digivolve on top of one of your Ballmons, you pop a level 4 or lower. So this card, like if you go on top of Ballmon, can clear like a level 4 blocker, whatever it is, or in a pesky or an annoying card, that Floodgate or whatever is on the board. And then you can also grab your X-Antibody option back. Grabbing the X-Antibody option back off of him can be a win condition play. A lot of times it's like, okay, I can add this card back from Rival's Barrage, digivolve into him, add the X-Antibody back from the trash, put it under, swing, go into Beelzemon X, trash 2 from their security or more, and swing for game. That's a game-ending play that I've been doing a lot recently because it skips the middleman of having to have that Beelzemon in your hand. So there's that. So then for the Beelzemons, we got the 2 Blasmos, we got the 2 X-Antibody, we got the 3 Beelzemon, and we got the other 2 Beelzemon. So Stardeck Beelzemon's good because you trash 4, gain your memory back, and then he gets an extra security attack, which is really good. It's a good card. I've been the more you play it, you can see it early game, but a lot of times you're not really going to. A lot of times you're poking your opponent down and kind of like save. You want this card in your trash because he's your ideal target to go into when you are swinging with your Impmon. You start at Impmon for game, kind of in a way. This Impmon, so I cut down this Beelzemon, obviously for space purposes, but just because I was F4, he was cool, but there were a lot of times where I met him and I didn't really have the Impmons to really take the full value of his effect, so I cut him down. And 3's been working out really, really well for me. But I still like digivolving into him, putting him on the board because he's really kind of just self-sufficient. He can pop a card on your opponent's board, get your mills off, do what you need to do. So he's just still a strong card for the deck. Beelzemon X is your X factor of the deck. This is the win condition, really. For every 10 cards, you burn one when you Digivolve into him. If you have a Beelzemon or an X-Antibody in your stack, and then on deletion, you can bring an Impmon back. This is really your game closer. This is what you're usually going into to win games. Blast Mode is one of your other win cons. So the classic thing is swing with this, hit 2, go into this, burn 2, go into this, restand, swing for game. You can do all that in one turn. It's ridiculous. But with the X-Antibody option, there's multiple ways to get him onto the board, and even Digivolving into him early just for some mid-range burn plays and just poking down your opponent, getting them within this like kind of OTK-ish type of range is really nice. And then onto the option cards. The option cards is still in testing, but I love the 1 X-Antibody option here. 2 7th Full Clusters, 3 Barrage, and 4 Deathslinger. We don't need to talk about Deathslinger. It's literally just a scaling fly bullet that's cheap. And can pretty much knock out anything once you have 20 cards in the trash. Browse Barrage Toolbox is your drop zone, so you can add anything back to it. This gets you your Beelzemon X, gets you the X-Antibody option, so you can go ahead for your game-winning play. I'm testing out 2 7th Full Clusters. I was running it at 1. I think 1 in the deck is still really good. I would never play the deck without it, but I'm testing out 2 because being able to proc 2 and just kind of like see it a little bit more often is nice. What it does is that it deletes when you play it, it deletes your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. But in the trash, when you Digivolve into Beelzemon X, you put it at the bottom of your deck and delete one of their Digimon with the lowest level. That definitely comes in handy because it helps clear blockers against Greymon with protections. You can you can proc 1, hit the protection, proc 2, hit the Digimon. Really, it's been a good card. Can it be a little brick in your hand? Sure. It's not a great card that you want to see in your hand, but there are ways with the BT6 Impmon, with the Impmon X-Antibody, there are ways to just discard that, get that to the drop zone, and then continue on with your plays. And then the 1 X-Antibody option, I really like it in the deck. I really, really do. It just, I understand that there's people who think that you don't need it, and you may not need it, but it offers you, multiple alternative ways to winning the game. Sliding it under the starting Impmon, sliding it under your Beelzemon X, whatever it is, grabbing it from the Beelzemon X, to play with, doing this, doing that. It offers you another avenue to winning the game, to putting your Beelzemon X onto the board, burning security, swinging for game. That's really what it does, and that's why I like it, because I have multiple ways to getting back to this card if you mill it. And that's the whole point about this deck, is that you always have ways to get to the cards you need. Which I think is what makes this deck one of the best in the game, because you always have ways to get to the cards you need. The 3-Eyed Mako carries the deck. Lets you put stack any purple card on top of your deck when Digivolving and gaining you the memory back, which is really good. And then it search the top 4. It adds any Digimon that's played in this deck to your hand, Wizard, Demon Lord, or Evil. So it's just such a good card, and its skill is universally just really good. So but yeah, that's the deck profile, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think. Again, if you want to win this mat, definitely join the DMV Drakes Discord server to win this Bancho. See if you can try to win this Bancho Impmon mat. And that's it for me, Beelzemon X. Love you, boy. And we're out. See ya. And we got Hunters next.